رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Inshallah, today we'll go through four letters: Sheen, Sad, Dad, and Ta. The letter Sheen, very similar to the letter Jim. However, there is a space between the pronunciation of letter Sheen and the roof of the mouth. So the middle part of my tongue does not directly touch the roof of the mouth. However, it is raised up and almost indicates that it will touch the roof of the mouth. So it's very close to touching it. If you say sh, sheen, she, you will feel the middle part of the tongue raise up. The letter sheen, sh, is a light letter, sheen, sh. You'll notice that it was very close to the letter that we did last session, which was seen. And the seen letter, as we said, it has three teeth, just like this letter does. And the seen had no dots. Sheen has three dots on it, so that's what makes it different. So sh, sheen is three dots. S, seen has no dots. The letter sod comes from our lower incisors. So I'm going to place the tip of my tongue to the top end of my bottom two incisors, the lower two incisors, and I'm touching the rear part of my lower incisors. I'm, however, touching the top part of my rear rear bottom incisors. For the letter seen, the one I've just been talking about, which is the opposite of sheen because it has no dots, that letter comes from the lower incisors. Again, I'm touching the tongue on at the rear part of my lower incisors, but it comes right at, but I place my tongue right at the bottom where the meeting line of the teeth and gum is. So there is the letter s, and it's nice and light. For this letter, it's a heavy letter. I slide my tongue up and I say saw, saw. So it's heavier. So I'm touching the rear part of my bottom incisors and I'm touching the top end saw. So behind the lower incisor saw, I'm touching the rear part of my incisors, but the lower part this time for the letter S, seen and Z. The letter Dod is a difficult letter. I will tell you how to say this with one side of the tongue, then we'll go through two sides of the tongue. The easiest way to say this letter is to crop your mouth open, raise your tongue up, keep the tongue ever so straight. Please do not bend it and curl it as you move it to one side. So you lift it, open your mouth, lift your tongue up, keep it nice and straight, and all you're going to do is slide it across. As you slide it across, do not bend or curl the tongue. And a lot of people do that when they're moving it to the side. All you need to do is keep it straight, nice and straight, and then just slide slightly across. So if you open your mouth now and you lift or move the tongue up, you lift your tongue up. Your tip of your tongue should be directly under your incisors, the front two incisors. I want you to place the tongue behind the canine tooth. Now, keep the tongue straight and just slide it across and fix the tip behind the canine tooth without bending or curling. I don't want you to curl it and touch the outside of the canine tooth. I want you to press the tip of the tongue behind the canine tooth. And I want you to press the side of your tongue against these molars. And I want you to say the letter do, di, do. Whilst you're saying that, the roof of the mouth should be stuck, sorry, the middle part of your tongue should be stuck to the roof of the mouth. The middle part of the tongue should be stuck to the roof of the mouth. So the tongue is lifted up, fixed in position, and stuck, almost stuck to the roof of the mouth. And now you say do, di, do. Do, di, do. Keep the tongue in position. If you move it, you'll hear a lighter letter. So for example, if I move my tongue now, do, di, do, that's me moving it away and it loses its strength. If I keep it in position, do, di, do, do, di, do. It's very much heavier. It's much more heavier than the example. Eventually, you can close your mouth, but you must master these steps before you do so. It does look like the tongue has come back down, but if you master it in this position. When you close it, it will look something similar, but you are elevating it. So you are doing all the positions you need to in order to make this letter heavy. This is a letter of character. It's a unique letter, and it has a lot of characteristics and a very um, precise articulation point. So it must be said with great precision and care. For this letter, you can say it from either one or two sides, and the points are the same. So basically, keep the tongue straight. Now, instead of placing the tip of the tongue behind the canine tooth, you're going to place it directly behind the top two incisors, and then you're going to press the sides of the tongue to the left and right molars. So now, because you're saying it from both sides, you're going to leave the middle part of the tongue stuck to the roof of the mouth. And now you're going to say, so press the tip of the tongue behind your incisors, behind the top two incisors, and say, do, di, do, do, di, do. Personally, me, I find that really difficult. I say it from one side, do, di, do, keeping the tongues in position. But as soon as you move it, you will lose the strength of that letter. Keep practicing that. That is a difficult letter to do. Now, the letter tha is very similar to the letter ta we saw at the beginning, ta with the two dots at the top. Remember, we saw a letter which is very similar to the ba and the tha. So the three letters are very similar. Ba had a dot at the bottom, ta had the dot, two dots at the top, and tha, they were like going across like a boat, had three dots in the middle. Now the ta is a lighter sound to this one. This is a similar sound, but it's heavier. It's to, 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 to. So in the ta, I use the tip of my tongue. In the to, I'm going to use the top part of my tongue, and I'm going to use a greater portion, and I'm going to stick it or touch the roof of my mouth, okay, or the inside part of my mouth that lies behind my top two incisors. So here's my top two teeth. I'm going to slide it across away from the teeth, away from the meeting gum line, and then I'm going to say ta 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 ti tu. It's almost like touching that that top roof of the mouth, okay? Ta ti tu, but it's still closer to my teeth. Touching the roof of the mouth, but the part that's closer to my teeth. And I'm touching not the tip of my tongue. I'm touching the top part of my tongue, and I'm touching about this much area that's shaded in black. Because if you do not touch that area and you touch just this slight bit of that, if I do that, I make it light. It must be a heavy letter, and it should be different to the previous that we studied. Tu. So touching behind the top incisors, but you're not touching the incisors, you're actually touching the roof. It should be behind the incisors, behind, not at the gum line. Okay. And okay, so it's not directly at the gum line, but closer to it. Okay. Greater portion to the gum line of the top incisors. Okay, so here it's saying to the gum line, so it's just behind. Okay, so even if you touch the gum line, the meeting point of the gum line and the incisors, it's not a problem. But if it is slightly behind them, that would be better. But either one is okay. To, ti, tu, to, ti, tu. Okay. We're now going to, inshallah, go through writing these letters. So let's have a go at the spelling. So the first thing we're going to do is write our letter Sheen. Now, as I said, Seen and Sheen are very similar. The only difference is, so there's one tooth, two tooth, third tooth, and then I take it down, and then I've got the three dots that I can color in. Okay, so it's very similar to the Seen. The only difference, as I said, are the dots. So any letters that you come across are quite similar. They can be confusing. Just keep practicing them till you learn how to do them. Now you've got two letters, Sod and Dod, again, very similar in the way they look. So Sod, I'm going to do like a little, you know how you have a cup holder, and then I'm going to do that. Okay, so not the best, but so let's keep this on the line, and then like a O shape, and then there, and then that's a dot. Okay, so basically slower. I'm going to do this line first. So I'm going to take a loop and I'm going to loop it in. So it's a bit like stitching. So loop that in, go over. There we go. So it's almost like a cup, really. So I'm going to do a little cup hole, like it's a where I hold a cup, and there we go. And that's a dot. But really, if I want to do so here, it's more to the side, and then you've got the letter dot. So of course, practice makes perfect. So please do practice these letters, sod and dot. We're now going to move on to the last letter of this session. And as you know, we're going to have a similar letter in the next class. And then the dot is basically, so number one there, number two there, and then three there. To be honest, I don't actually do it like that, but let's have a go. It's probably better. So there, number two there, and then we do three. So we do number one here. So we take the, so here, take it up, down, across. So looping it from the bottom now, and then, or I've done it that way, but oh, you could do the line here. Okay. And that is a thaw, thaw with no dot. Next class, we will do the letter thaw, inshallah, and then we'll go through the pronunciation of that. Jazakallah khair. Please keep practicing, and inshallah, we'll see you next lesson. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.